Hey guys, Kane here. So today we will talk a little about the museum feature and what I personally think about it. There's both positive and negative things about it, but it all depends from what perspective you're looking at it. So starting with the good things as usual, this feature gave us all like 20,000 diamonds just from the get-go. Which is good, and honestly, no one really expected it. And we also get some free stats. The whole feature looks good, very well fleshed out, like an achievement list of some sorts. Again, it looks very good and you can earn a lot of diamonds in here and also stats just by playing and upgrading your own units. And also the shop contains some good stuff too, that eventually I will buy some of these myself. The other awesome feature is that if you don't manage to 6-star your UR the first time it comes out, you can just easily 6-star whenever you're able during any altar period and just receive the skin anyway, which is an upgrade from the Chinese servers where it is strictly just based to their first altar. But with all these good things added, there are also some downsides that quite a few people may not suspect. These stats that we get are both good and bad. It depends which way you look at it. Yes, everyone can get them and it is not strictly based to spenders and so on. But some buffs can take a very long time to be acquired. Now, let's use my own museum level as an example. I am level 8 and the next level is level 9. And it gives you 15% unit damage and damage reduction, right? So previously I was able to beat Halong's the Tsar pretty much in 20 seconds or so, with half of his field dying at the very beginning. Doesn't matter if he had Judicator or not. His 1 or 2 units got one shot at anyway. The same for Peaches, who had Gem with Judicator previously. His entire field was deleted pretty much with no chance of ever winning, unless they like heavily countered or whatever. Both of these guys are VIP 15, and both of these guys now have Museum level 9, and from what I have seen, them having this buff above me made it severely harder for me to actually beat them. You may not think that a measly 15% would actually have such an effect, but let's use basic numbers for a calculation. If you're doing 100,000 damage, reducing it by 15% would make you do 85,000 damage and so on. The same works for receiving damage. This buff is for your entire field, so for instance, if I say Kiss of Moon, a Kraken Hookwit from my server would still be playing, all of us would have assumed he would have this museum at level 10 at minimum, since most of his SSRs were maxed. Yes, I will get it myself eventually, and I assume whenever I start upgrading weapons and when I will get Evil Sorceress to 6 stars, most likely next month, I may get it a bit closer or achieve this goal, but not quite there yet. The reason for me making this video in particular, it's like, I believe this breakthrough for unit damage and damage reduction are at level 3, 6, 9, so if we can assume we continue to play, someone having it at level 12 would just beat easily anyone at level 11 or so. And I understand the need for them to make such a feature because they are earning money from people who are like, let's say, Kiss of Moon, who spend a lot on just gaming for plainly just competition, and I showed how I was easily beating VIP 15s, and I am not alone in this game that is able to do so. So this feature is more like a slight edge for the spenders to be able to keep their ranks or be better than others just by spending a bit more on other things. Again, I'm not saying this is like game over and we won't be able to do anything or any of the sort. This is just me providing my opinion on things, and they want to provide some edge for high spenders to not be completely smashed by people who know how to form good synergies or just overpower one single formation, compared to many spenders focusing, let's say, 3. So this kind of feature made playing just a little bit harder and made it so people do require to focus this feature for museum level up until level 9 at least. I do not mean just drop everything and get a random UR to 6 stars or any of the sort. You will more specifically need to plan your strategies, your star upgrades like R, SR, etc. You will need to plan your equipment, by equipment I mean weapons, and not randomly throw your diamonds on silly events. Because the faster you reach museum level 9, the faster you will remove the disadvantage that any higher spender may have upon you. Don't get me wrong, you do not need to do it to be, say, a lot stronger than the spenders. if you get Museum level 9, it will feel as though you cancel out their own buff against you, because 15% reduction and damage will cancel out his 15% damage and reduction. If you understand my point, most of this is to just make sure they do not have this one thing above you. Again, as silly as it may sound, on the level I am now, which is like 10 million plus power, and level 103 to 104 server, this buff means a whole lot for formations who are strictly buffing units to perform, like Inferno, like Fortress, like Gem, and so on. So you will really need to make some good planning and strategy to be able to reach higher levels in this museum, and use the resources you have efficiently to achieve the goal of at least level 9 museum. Again guys, do not understand this as you will need to throw away your diamonds just to increase it. You will still need to save them for particular URs that you will require, but this is more like saying that this is really a huge disadvantage that you want to eventually remove from a whale or kraken having it above you. This was probably half of my reason for getting those two commanders 3-star, because they added more collection value for the specific factions that I did not focus, and they added a lot of points towards them, which is I believe 900 points each, so we can assume it's 300 points per 1-star, and I think I raised my whole collection value by 1,500 from doing those like achievements. And I think with Evil Sorceress and some breakthroughs there, I will be able to get around 2,000 more points or so, maybe a little bit more, since I will most likely unlock some weapons by then too. But this is one of the features many people perhaps not even suspected to have such game-changing buffs, since quite a few were able to get them just from the get-go. But I don't know, this does seem like it will overpower a lot of spenders whenever they hit level 12 of this feature. So we will probably need to think of new, more intuitive ways of actually beating the Krakens. Anyways, let me know what you guys think yourself down in the comments below. Thanks for watching and stay safe.